needs no introduction. There are a few people around today that have campaigned year in, year out, that are dedicated. They use their fame and celebrity to protect animals, to stand up for all of what we believe in here. Bill Oddie is an entertainer, Bill Oddie is a naturalist and a campaigner, is a legend in his own lifetime. He's here with us today, and it's a real honour to introduce him. Thank you very much. Louder? I can't be any louder! This is a day, you know, we often have that phrase, a day I hoped would never come. This is genuinely a day that I thought would never come, because in 2004, as Dominic's already said, an amazing, terrific achievement to public opinion, etc., and exposure of the horrible things that go on, achieved that bill in 2004. And I think, like a lot of us, we thought, well, great, that's it. Now let's go on to lots of other iniquities that are knocking about. The fact that we're here having to argue it again is absolutely sick, frankly. Perfectly, I think, immovable, wonderful law that was passed in 2004, they are now trying to destroy. And that is quite acceptable, we all know that, and unacceptable, and we all know that. And I'm worn out now. Yep, I'm worn out. Have a good time, make it boy, be gentle.
Thank you, Bill!
When journalists, as they did today on Sky and BBC, ask me, why is it that you're coming out about animals and you're not coming about other issues? And I'm saying this to them. The way we treat animals has a huge impact on the way that we treat people. When people are cruel and sadistic to animals, they're often cruel and sadistic to people as well. Many of us will know that Ian Brady, before he started his descent into depravity and murdering children, used to torture and bury cats alive. Does that not tell us what can happen when cruelty to animals is unchecked? How that can impact upon people? It shouldn't be political. Anyone with any ounce of common decency should know that ripping wild animals apart is disgusting sadism and has no place in our modern world.
What seems amazing to me is we're even discussing this issue when public opinion overwhelmingly and consistently supports the ban on hunting with dogs. When the public votes by 52% to 48% to leave the EU, our political masters say we must do the public's will. Yet in the face of overwhelming public opposition going back many years, our current and likely future governing party, let's see what happens in early June, sees fit to keep trying to bring repeal of the Hunting Act onto the table. Does anybody else spot the inconsistency here? Far be it for me to suggest it might have something to do with the wishes of some wealthy members of the Countryside Alliance and their pals. The influence they may have over some senior politicians and the political donations they make.
And that's why this movement, which is just as important as the movements that abolished slavery, just as important as the movements that brought civil rights to the world, is the new movement that will make a change in this world in the 21st century. That's making this planet better for animals and better for people as well. We're also here because the most powerful person in this country, Theresa May, has chosen off her own back to make fox hunting a political issue in this campaign. She didn't need to do it. When she was 6 years as Home Secretary, she took no interest in it. When she was fighting against Andrea Leadsom for the leadership of the Tory party, even though Leadsom brought it up as a campaign issue, she said nothing about it. So suddenly, why is she in love with fox hunting? What brought about this massive change at such a critical time? Well, we all know what it is, as I said on the BBC this morning. She needs people to knock on doors. She needs people to campaign for Conservative candidates in this election. And the hunting and shooting lobby have got her in an arm lock. They will say to her, Theresa, if you want campaigners to get on the streets, we will do it for you, but it will come at a cost. You have to offer us repeal of the Hunting Act.
You have to offer us dead foxes, dead hares and dead stags for votes. Do you think that's acceptable? No! It's an absolute national disgrace. An absolute national disgrace. It's playing politics with wildlife. It's playing politics with wildlife, and it should not happen in a modern civilized world. Wouldn't you agree? Yes! But it's going to backfire on her. Because if you look at the polls, over 84% of the public in this country think that the Hunting Act should stay. Over 84% of people living in towns, living in the countryside, a massive majority of Conservative voters, some of them are no doubt here today, think this is abhorrent and should not happen. And that is the case. She is fighting against the public. She is fighting against the will of the people to win some dirty votes in an election. And that's not acceptable. Wouldn't you agree? Yes! Not going to allow Theresa May or any politicians to get away with this. The Hunting Act in 2004 took over 10 years of campaigning work in the courts, in the fields, in the streets, and the media studios. And we're going to fight that battle again. This government, through its actions of restricting charities, of restricting NGOs in terms of what they can do in campaigning and what they can do in lobbying, has meant that you've had no protest marches up and down this country about closures of hospitals, about poverty in this country, about mental health and all the big important issues that we should be debating, because they have been told that if they infringe those rules, they could face heavy fines, they could be closed down. That is a gagging order that is hurting civil society in this country. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. You know what? This is the fight back. We as individuals, not as NGOs and charities, have come together here today. We are showing the government, no matter what they do under the law to try and restrict organisations from protesting, we are going to come out, we are going to have our voice heard, we are going to protest, yes? Save our foxes! Keep the ban! Save our foxes! Keep the ban! Save our foxes! Keep the ban! Excuse! For animal abuse! Tradition! Silence! Save our foxes! Save our foxes! Keep the ban!
Theresa May used hate hunting with hounds an election issue, and she knows nothing about disease risks. Her arguments, to quote from our letter, are evidence light, prejudice heavy, and take no account of the disease risks. Her support is based on ignorance of the scientific facts and the objective cruelty involved. This lack of humanity and empathy casts grave doubt on the suitability of Mrs May to negotiate the nuances of animal welfare and protection policies under Brexit. She is totally unfit to make those negotiations, and she's unfit to be Prime Minister! We urge voters and journalists to ask Theresa May to explain the reasons she is supporting such a regressive and high-risk policy as a return to hunting with hounds. So what we are saying in a nutshell is that a large pack of 120 hunting hounds who cavorted over a huge area of Middle England, that's 6 or 7 counties, had an outbreak of bovine TB diagnosed in December 2016. DEFRA laughably initially claimed that TB was not notifiable in dogs and left the matter in the hands of local vets and the Tory Welfare Minister, Lord Kimball, who happened to be chair of the hunt for many, many years and a member of the Countryside Alliance. Laughably, Lord Kimball himself is the Tory Animal Welfare Minister in the Lords, a long-term associate of the hunt, and must resign immediately for his part in this disgraceful, shambolic cover-up. DEFRA were forced to publicly admit to the outbreak in March this year, only when other hunts who'd been riding over Kimblewick country let slip the information that the Kimblewick hounds had an outbreak of bovine TB and had been suspended from hunting. So the government were caught trying to cover it up and didn't inform anyone. They didn't tell vets, not doctors, not the public health department, not the chief medical officer. It's reached Henley-on-Thames and survives in slurry and waterways. So tuberculosis, that Victorian medieval disease, is in the Thames. How Victorian, how very Theresa May.
Seen the disgusting fox cubbing? Who's seen the fox cubbing where they carry the baby foxes and they drop them in with the foxhounds? Who's doing anything about this? Were they just allowed to keep doing this and it's okay? Because I don't see anything being done about this. And another thing I just want to touch upon is we do honestly go on and on and on about the foxes, but how about the foxhounds? I'm so saddened by the foxhounds. I've gone out secretly sabbing a few times with my camera and I've hidden and I've filmed stuff. Those foxhounds, they desperately need attention. They've come over, they've pushed up against us, they've wanted tickles because none of the fox hunters care. They don't give a shit. Excuse me for swearing, but that's what I think. They don't care at all about these foxhounds. And then when they get this bovine TB, what do? They just kill them all. And I've heard the most horrible stories about how they kill them. You know, shoot them in the head and chuck them back to the dogs to be eaten. That's what I've been told. I can't say whether that's true or not, but that's what I've been told.
It's all right that we have somebody who's the Prime Minister of this country who supports an activity that very commonly results in wild mammals being disemboweled prior to death. No! And this is why I'm standing against Theresa May in Maidenhead. I think that